I remember back in 2017, I sent somebody an okay hand gesture on a chat at work, and they asked me like, "Hey, what's that mean?" And I was like, "It's an okay hand gesture." It means okay, like I got it, okay, doing well, understand what you're saying, right? I didn't realize that people thought that this was a white power hand gesture, but even worse, it's a 4chan troll. And the worst part about it is people are still falling for this troll that 4chan did back in 2016, 2017, which is insane. So the Olympics is falling for it, not surprisingly, because the Olympics are full woke, and I guess they're really trying to go broke. I thought people were kind of turning against woke, but I guess since the Olympics is running on a 4-year schedule, maybe it's going to take them some time to do the turnabout that everybody else has been doing. This is kind of terrifying, though, because somebody was unaccredited or banished from the games because they were flashing an OK symbol. It's also kind of funny, too, how news organizations haven't updated their guidance from the Anti-Defamation League. So here, the Olympics official banished from the games after he spotted making a shocking gesture on camera during an event. Oh my God, so shocking. Who's so bored with their life that they're going through and finding these symbols in camera shots like this? It's some guy off in the background, almost off screen. And, they have people trying to track this stuff down and making a big deal out of it, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, so the man was seen appearing to make an okay hand sign with his thumb and index finger, creating a circle and his fingers outstretched. He repeated the action twice with his hands down by his side. First, as Australian ace Chloe Covell was competing before repeating it behind the Japanese athlete Liz Akama. It is unclear how he intended the symbol to come across. So traditionally, the OK symbol is used by a person to show they are fine and doing well. In recent years, it has become used far more frequently by far-right groups, sparking outrage over it being shown on the screens. The Anti-Defamation League, ADL, described the gesture as a sincere expression of white supremacy. It has regularly been used by right-leaning individuals in pictures on social media that ADL added. Some Brazilian journalist reported the man, which was a subcontractor for the games, and yeah, they started reviewing footage from La Concorde Urban Park. I think it's kind of crazy too. I'm not even watching the games, honestly. Like, when somebody's like, "Oh, I did something, I insulted this group because I wanted to show inclusion," for me, that kind of means you want to exclude certain people. And like, I'll gladly do what you want me to do. You don't want me to watch? That's fine. I won't watch. Okay. So this hand gesture got this person sent home. One of the things that I find super annoying about this is how the article kind of calls up this one quote. The Anti-Defamation League, ADL, described the gesture as a sincere expression of white supremacy. If you actually read the post on the ADL, though, for the OK hand gesture, very little of it is actually about the white supremacist nature of the hand gesture. So here's one paragraph. This is about it. And it says here, the overwhelming usage of OK hand gesture today is still its traditional purpose as gesturing significantly assent or approval. And, pretty much you need more context to say it's racist. It also talks a lot about trolling, how the OK gesture was even put on these lists for being classified as a white supremacist hand gesture. But it's an important gesture in Buddhism and Hinduism as well, and in yoga. So, looking at all this text, this wall of text, and I'll read over this later, but this wall of text is mostly about how the OK hand symbol is nothing bad. And it does say, hey, the white supremacist part of it kind of started as a 4chan troll, but there's really nothing wrong with it. It's important in these cultures. It's important here. People have been using it since in 17th century Great Britain to mean something else, and it's harmless. People use it for games. There are other people that use it for a different thing. It's just ridiculous that the ADL actually has a reasonable description of the sand symbol and kind of says that, hey, it's innocuous. Like, there's nothing really wrong with it unless there's more context. Like, if you see somebody that is a white supremacist making this hand symbol in some context that ties it to something that is racist or white supremacist, then yes, maybe it is a white supremacist signal or hand sign. I guess the media knows more than me. But the funny thing is, 4chan was targeting the media and liberals in this troll. And it's kind of funny that the media is still falling for it. One of the other kind of annoying things here too is, it also says it has regularly been used by right-leaning individuals and pictures on social media the ADL added. So let's see where the ADL added that, because this is kind of also annoying. I like how the article doesn't actually point out the full quote from ADL. So let's read the full quote, because this is awesome. In the case of the OK gesture, the hoax was so successful, the symbol became a popular trolling tactic on the part of right-leaning individuals who would often post photos to social media of themselves posing while making the OK gesture. So, I guess the reporters are even acknowledging the troll without even acknowledging the troll. This is hilarious. Kind of find it interesting to see what the ADL is saying. First of all, I mean, I've read this blog post a while back on how the OK symbol became a popular trolling gesture. But here, the ADL labels it a hoax. Like on the ADL website, this is the ADL.org. And yeah, it's a blog post that the ADL has published. So they have a picture of white power and they have hoax right there on it. So let's read what they actually say so we can't, misinterpret the image that they have here. Has the simple thumb and forefinger OK hand gesture become a common white supremacist hand sign? Not quite, but it has become a popular gesture used by people across several segments of the right and far right, including some actual white supremacists who generally use it to trigger reactions or what they would describe as trolling the libs. This is thanks to a 2017 hoax campaign started by members of the notorious website 4chan that has since taken on a life of its own. Thanks, 4chan. Appreciate it. There is little that 4chaners like as much as a hoax, and in recent months, they have served up a number of fakeries with white supremacist themes to largely credulous online audiences. The OK hand gesture originated as one of these hoaxes in February 2017, when an anonymous 4chaner announced Operation OKKK, telling other members that we must flood Twitter and other social media websites, claiming that the OK hand sign is a symbol of white supremacy. The user even provided a helpful graphic showing how the letters white power, or WP for white power, could be traced with an OK gesture. The originator and others also suggested using hashtags to help spread the hoax, such as power hand privilege and not OK. Leftists have dug so deep down into their lunacy, wrote the poster, we must force them to dig more until the rest of society ain't going nowhere near that stuff. I think stuff's that the word that they meant there. I mean, it could be something else, but I don't think I can say that on a brand new YouTube channel. So, following the cues of the hoax originator, 4chaners created fake email and Twitter accounts and bombarded civil rights organizations, journalists, and others with messages furthering the OK hoax. It is possible that some of the hoaxers were racist or white supremacists themselves, as parts of 4chan are something of a haven for them. And the site itself has been a source of adherents of the alt-right segment of the white supremacist movement. The original launch of Operation OKKK sputtered after a few days, and it seemed that the hoax had run its course without spreading too far, but it picked up again in late April, and this time it was far more successful in spreading across social media and beyond. Reaction to the OK symbol hoax was so widespread in the spring and summer of 2017 that a number of people on the far right began deliberately to use the gesture, typically making the sign while posting, for photographs uploaded to social media in order to continue the trolling and spread it further. Over the year and a half since the original hoax campaign began, ADL has tracked its usage by a variety of figures on the far right, including some well-known white supremacists, though it seems to be even more popular among the so-called alt-right. Use of the OK gesture has spread beyond the far right and can now also be found with the broad community of mainstream Donald Trump supporters, some of whom seem to have no idea of its origins. Like OK, right? Like the origins of the OK symbol is OK. Oh my God. Even though its usage has expanded and evolved, it still seems primarily intended to trigger or troll people on the left and cause them to react, although some white supremacists have also used it generally jokingly among themselves. It is important to realize that the OK gesture is a nearly universal hand gesture, and most usage of it is completely innocuous. Even when used as described here, the fact that white supremacists, the alt-right, and many Trump supporters all use the symbol means that one cannot assume that anyone who poses with such a gesture is intended or exhibiting an association with white supremacy. Only if the gesture occurs in context with other clear indicators of white supremacy can one draw that conclusion. Only if the gesture occurs in context with other clear indicators of white supremacy can one draw that conclusion. So it's kind of funny that they're saying, hey, the ADL says this. Well, the ADL also says look for other context because you can't just use the OK hand symbol by itself. Nobody looks at this stuff again. I think they just take one snippet from the ADL from 2017, 2016, and they're like, yeah, that's good. We're good there. We'll stop. We don't have to look at it again. Oh, the ADL corrected their record. The ADL came out and acknowledged the troll. We don't have to look at that. We're good. We got it, right? We got it. So the OK hoax was actually just one in a series of hoaxes in which 4chaners and members of other similar places on the internet, such as 8chan and Reddit, have tried to take innocuous items, symbols, or gestures and falsely attribute white supremacist meanings to them in order to fool liberals and get them to spread such false messages. I think they're doing a pretty good job of fooling liberals. It's just, sometimes it also points out that I wouldn't even call these people liberals that are falling for it. The liberals I grew up with as a Gen Xer are completely different from the liberals today. I mean, honestly, I think liberals haven't changed. It's the progressives and the wokesters that are the ones that are kind of falling for this garbage. One of the more successful of these recent 4chan hoaxes, also originating in 2017, was the concept that white supremacists were drinking milk to show the superiority of the white race and the purity of white milk. One hoaxer trying to convince the Anti-Defamation League explained that they're chugging milk in front of people of color, quoting racist books and phrases and supposed statistics about people of color being lactose intolerant. A number of media websites bought into the milk hoax. Oh my gosh, seriously? They are also a response to the willingness of many of the left in the United States to believe that the Trump administration is full of hardcore white supremacists. It is this willingness to believe that the 4chaners have been trying to exploit. Well, haven't just been trying to exploit it. They've exploited it pretty well. And you know what? It's 2024 and people are still falling for this freaking hoax. And now some guy that probably didn't mean anything negative with his hand gesture. Like I said, I stretch my finger sometimes. I'm trying to get the pressure out of my fingernails. It's like a good feeling. I do it with all my fingers and my thumb. Some guy was probably stretching his frickin' fingers, and now he's not working at the Olympics anymore. And, the Olympics are talking about this guy like he's a white supremacist without any other context. And the ADL says that you need more context. I don't understand why there isn't any other context here, and people are just running with this story. A good thing is, I guess the guy can't really be identified from the picture, but the Olympics, the Olympics know who he was because they uninvited him. Guess what, guys? This isn't a new symbol. This is a hoax from 2017 that I guess we're still falling for. This is the blog post that talks about the hoax. Now let's go look at the OK Hand Gesture webpage from the ADL. This is the ADL. You can go look it up, adl.org. You can search for ADL OK Hand Gesture, and you'll find these articles. It's really crazy. It really is crazy. Let me just increase the size here a little bit. Not for me. My eyes are fine. It's for you guys and girls. All right. So, OK Hand Gesture, WP, I guess that's the 4chan drawing, maybe. I don't know. And it says, note, at the very top of the article, note, for reasons explained below, particular caution must be used when evaluating the symbol. Do you think the Olympics took caution or used caution when they judged that this guy was doing something wrong? I doubt it. Just based on how the Olympics are going now, it seems like they're hyper-political, like everything else in this world. I'm really one of those people that likes my sports without politics. I use sports as an escape. I use entertainment as an escape. And when I can't escape it, I don't want any kind of politics, right wing or left wing, in my entertainment. I don't want it in my sports. Because it's entertainment. It's something that I used to get away from the bullshit. I go read the articles on politics. I watch videos on politics, and then it's just like, okay, I'm done. I want to get away. And at this point, I almost feel like I can't really get that escape unless I'm in a bubble somewhere, or I'm reading a book that I know is not political, right? So maybe this is a good thing. If you're tired of the political crap and everything, maybe just start reading more books. You're probably going to have to read older books, though, because I think the newer books might be susceptible to the same thing. All right, so let's continue on. Again, note, for reasons explained below, particular caution must be used when evaluating the symbol. The OK hand gesture, in which the thumb and index finger touch while the other fingers of the hand are held outstretched, is an obvious and ancient gesture that has arisen in many cultures over the years with different meanings. It's an ancient symbol. I guess this is just more of, people trying to undermine everything in the world and just destroy everything ancient and everything that has been harmless and good in the past. So today, in a usage that dates to at least as early as the 17th century Great Britain, it most commonly signals understanding, consent, approval, or well-being. Since the early 1800s, the gesture increasingly became associated with the word okay and its abbreviation okay. The gesture is also important in the Hindu and Buddhist worlds, as well as yoga, where it is known as mudra or vitarka mudra, a symbol of inner perfection. The okay hand gesture also forms part of the basis for a number of words or concepts in American Sign Language. It appears in many other contexts as well. Use of the OK symbol in most contexts is entirely innocuous and harmless. Let me repeat this for the Olympics. Use of the OK symbol in most contexts is entirely innocuous and harmless. In 2017, the OK hand gesture acquired a new and different significance thanks to a hoax by members of the website 4chan to falsely promote the gesture as a hate symbol, claiming that the gesture represented the letters WP for white power. The OK gesture hoax was merely the latest in a series of similar 4chan hoaxes using various innocuous symbols. In each case, the hoaxers hoped that the media and liberals would overreact by condemning a common image as white supremacist. And here we are. The hope of the 4chaners and the hoaxers has been met. And, it's kind of crazy that this thing has gone on for 7 years. And yeah, so who are they trying to get here? Oh my God, the snowflakes, man. The media and the liberals are still falling for this crap. This is the funny thing is they're still falling for this crap. They're still calling out what the ADL said about it probably in 2017. I'm not going to go back to the Wayback Machine and try to figure out what the hell's going on and how far back this goes. But this is pathetic that the ADL's own website is not referenced. Like the current update for the OK hand gesture isn't referenced by these media organizations that are writing stories about the OK hand gesture as if nothing has changed from 2016. That's the hilarious thing. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're still falling for a hoax. This is why I find it hard to believe a lot of the media out there. In the case of the OK gesture, the hoax was so successful that the symbol became a popular trolling tactic on the part of right-leaning individuals who would often post photos to social media for themselves posing while making the OK gesture. Ironically, some white supremacists themselves soon also participated in such trolling tactics, lending an actual credence to those who had labeled the trolling gesture as racist in nature. Oh my God, this is so funny. It would be funnier if we weren't living in this crazy world. We're living in it. By 2019, at least some white supremacists seem to have abandoned the ironic or satirical intent behind the original trolling campaign and use the symbol as a sincere expression of white supremacy. The overwhelming usage of the OK hand gesture today is still its traditional purpose as a gesture signifying assent or approval. As a result, someone who uses the symbol cannot be assumed to be using the symbol for either a trolling or especially white supremacist context unless other contextual evidence exists to support the contention. Since 2017, many people have been falsely accused of being racist or white supremacist for using the OK gesture in its traditional and innocuous sense. Oh my God, one of them's the circle game. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, this could also be it too, right? The guy could have been playing the circle game. One of these is the so-called circle game in which people attempt to trick each other into turn to looking at an okay-like hand gesture made somewhere below the waist, which is exactly what this guy was doing. Because of the traditional meaning of the okay hand gesture, as well as other usages unrelated to white supremacy, particular care must be taken not to jump to conclusions, the Olympics, about the intent behind someone who has used the gesture. Now, this is crazy. It's crazy that I feel like the media is stuck in 2016, and I know they love 2016. They like to, relive that moment. I guess that was the peak of press, right? The time that, things were just perfect for the press because they were the ultimate victims of the far-right crazies and hoaxers. So I wanted to see more about the story that talks about the ADL's mentions of this being a hoax, but I guess the media has fallen for the hoax, and there's no redeeming the media at this point. The media is just stuck there on this hoax, and I don't know what to say. I guess don't trust the media is the only thing I can say. Be careful when people quote organizations such as the ADL. Go out and research it yourself and see what people are saying, because this is kind of crazy. It's crazy that this is actually happening, and it's acknowledged to be a hoax by the ADL, and the ADL even says, hey, the target of these hoaxes were liberals in the media, and liberals in the media are still falling for it. This is insane. All right, well, I wanted to get this video out. I plan on making some more videos. Please comment below if you have any suggestions on things that I can do. I like to point out things. I go deep into research, and I like to point out things that I see that I don't see acknowledged by other people. Hence the first video that I did. But yeah, looking forward to feedback and looking forward to getting to know the community here.